What up, y'all? Back again. I'm just here showing you some more pictures of this is 1894, supposedly. We had the San Francisco World's Fair, and I'm telling you, these buildings were here already, these structures. They said they built them all in 5 months, and they had no power tools. Apparently, electricity had just come out, and it's full of electricity, according to our fake history. But I'm telling you, these buildings were here already, these structures, and we just didn't build them. It's from the old architects from the leftover Millennial Kingdom, and they had electricity. It was just free. They used to pull it down from antennas from high up in the sky. They changed all the antennas to flagpoles, and you'll see how glorious these structures were, and how what they were doing at these World's Fairs were teaching us culture. You get it? Culture. They were teaching us that to eat hot dogs and hamburgers and whatever else they wanted us to believe. Part of their brainwashing program from the beginning of the short season when we all started to come back. And they were the ones to educate us, the fallen ones that got loose with Satan from the abyss. See that door, how big it is? They were much taller than us. So the doors and the windows and the buildings and the ceilings were all much higher. But they'll claim they built it, not just the structures here, but everywhere. And in the late 1800s, there was over 2,000 carnivals. You see that short? These buildings are in the ground deep. So you'll see like those archways should be bigger, larger, but they're sunk in the mud. That was the beginning of it, supposedly. But they couldn't build these structures, and definitely not in 5 months. This is how your whole historical narrative is. It's all written by AI. And they have these fake narratives where they built these major, amazing structures in like just a couple of months or a year. And they were like monstrosities. Back before, this was the first year of electricity. But before 1894, there was supposedly no electricity, according to our fake history. And they have all these major structures that they built with a horse and a buggy and a chisel and a hammer, which is completely impossible. These things they had to quarry this stuff and drag it there. I guess they dragged it with a mule and some wooden wheels somehow, and then they were able to construct it. Some of these things would tower 10 floors high, full-on marble and granite and block and stone. But they used some rickety ladder to get up there, rickety wooden ladder. But there was 2,000 carnivals in the late 1800s in America. It's kind of crazy, right? That they would have that many carnivals. And most of them were owned by the electric company, which is even more odd. Because what you'll find is a lot of things that we would call carnivals today, they weren't carnivals then. They were used for something else. We turned them into carnivals. Everything that you see on this earth that was from the old world, that was not from the old world. It was from the Millennial Kingdom leftover when we were reset in 1812. So this is just a continuation of what I've been talking about. And all these structures, including these here, look like that Greco-Roman or a castle or a mosque type constructor. And a lot of these, I believe, they were somehow hooked up, maybe would turn on like chips to a computer board. And at the end of the Millennial Kingdom, when the mud flood occurred, maybe what happened was they all shorted out as well. because they do look like they used to start up or move or something, like these cathedrals and things. And so these are just leftover structures we've been walking on this past civilization for a couple hundred years now, thinking that our forefathers built it, but they had no power tools, no dump trucks, no combustion engines. They had no motors, no engines. They had no cranes. They had very few people because they were coming out of these plagues. They were dirt broken, poor. But everything, when you look in these old pictures, outside of just the mud and the yellow skies that they show you, everything was exquisite. It was focused, it was a community focused on art before the 1800s, which tells you that they had to be high society, so high that there was no graffiti or anything around. Like the maintenance on these buildings, I mean, it's just amazing. And everything was built larger, even the Ferris wheels. They were built for giants. And we just don't construct stuff like this today. And we couldn't. The architecture goes all the way up to the roof, y'all. Like, we don't even get to look at the roof. Why would we put architecture and beautiful ornate stuff on a roof? But these guys did. This past civilization did. And I'm telling you, it was a worldwide kingdom. It was the millennial kingdom of Christ, and they covered it up, added 800 to 1,000 years to the calendar, and they told us this fake narrative. Like Napoleon took over the world in 1812, just little old France with a couple of boats and a few soldiers. That's crazy, y'all, to think that. When they tell you Rome fell slowly, it didn't fall slowly in all these places like Pompeii and stuff. They all went at the same time. They're breaking it up in your history and telling you they fell separate. And that we didn't care about science, we just cared about God, and look what happened. But in the 1880s and 90s, when the years of enlightenment started up, that we started to care about science, and look what we did. We didn't do anything, the technology was here already. And the narrative they're telling you, that was the Dark Ages, was really the Golden Ages. And all these paintings and these high ceilings, they can't do them today. They can't do it, and they had no light, supposedly. They had no power tools, no cordless tools, no dump trucks, nothing, no infrastructure, and a few people that were dirt broken poor, but they built these mega structures. Thank you for watching. Give me a like, subscription, thumbs up, love y'all, peace.